So the bye week is supposed to be a time of reflection and relaxation. You got some guys that are coming back from injury, getting all healed up, and they need that rest. You have some people that are able to take a little mini vacation, get away from it all for a little bit. And then you have what the New York Giants do, or what's happening with the New York Giants. And last year's bye week, it was the whole Xavier McKinney accident, then he's gone, and this, that, and the third. And then you like, it's no way that a bye week can get worse than that. And then you fast forward to this week, or this year, I should say, and you look at what's going on within that bye week, and it's just like, what is going on with the New York Giants? What is going on with the team that I root for? And it's just some crazy scenarios going on. The first thing is that none of the coaches are going to be back. None of the coordinators are going to be back. Brian Daboll is on the hot seat. Brian Daboll is not fit to be a coach. Nobody likes him in the building. It's about, okay, well, you went from the number 2 pick to the number 5 pick. Now we're looking at number 7. And then at the end of the season, are we going to be 8th, 9th, top 10? And it's just crazy what happened last week. And I want to talk about a few of those things. But before I do that, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate the subscribers. The numbers are going up. I will also appreciate the likes, because the likes gets the video circulating and, gets a lot of more eyes, on the video. So I thank everybody for the support. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and let's talk about what's going on. So first of all, first thing I want to talk about is the Brian Daboll on the hot seat, and nobody likes him in the building. So we saw, the reports, we saw the tweets, the videos, the clips, and stuff like that about Brian Daboll first not getting along with Wink Martindale, and that there's some issues going on there. And Jay Glazer was the one that broke that prior to the game last week. And then they had the whole video after the game of Wink Martindale getting a game ball, and then, talking about, well, they're just trying to play. They're just trying to play it, play nice, and, show that this. Listen, I don't know what's going on, man. There's a lot of speculation. And when Jay Glazer says something, a lot of people listen. And then after that, going, through the bye week, not only is it Wink Martindale, is Mike Kafka not coming back. It's McGooey not coming back, which nobody really cares in McGooey's situation. But it's just like, wow, man. After a 2-week win streak, you get all this just bad news coming across, and for me, it sucks. As a Giants fan, that's positive, that's on the hopeful side of things. It's just upsetting to hear. And then when you think about the possible replacements for these guys, you're thinking about, okay, Wink Martindale has this defense playing very, very well. And for that to be gone, your bright spot of the team is Wink Martindale and that defense right now. And just to think that Wink Martindale might not be here, next season, it sucks. To keep it blunt, it sucks. And then you're thinking about what the replacements might be, and you look at the relationships that Brian Daboll has. Is it going to be somebody like Leslie Frazier? For the offense, on the offensive side, if Kafka decides that he doesn't want to come back, is it going to be Ken Dorsey? Is it going to be the New York Buffalo Bills? Is that what's going to happen? And then, that's a portion of it where, when you think about Leslie Frazier, yeah, Leslie Frazier is a good DC. He had that Bills defense, doing pretty well. But then you're thinking about the situation that we have here, and Wink already has the defense going. And do you really want to start from scratch, bring in a new DC, and try to build that new relationship with the guys that are here on the defense? And that's the part that I don't like about the situation. When it comes to the offense and Mike Kafka, we already saw him get play calling taken away from him. If you bring in a guy like Ken Dorsey, who's already familiar with the way Brian Daboll wants to do things, is it going to be a big change? Here's the thing for me. If you get rid of Mike Kafka, I want Brian Daboll to be the HC and the OC. If you want to bring in a guy that does some preparation, throughout the week, and a guy like Ken Dorsey, then fine. But for me, if you're going to steer the ship, and if you're going to go down with the ship, that's at least be the one to call your own plays. And then when it comes to Brian Daboll being on the hot seat, I don't believe that he is on the hot seat himself. I believe he already has locked in or locked his spot in, and you can't be for sure, but I'm just saying my opinion. I think that he absolutely will be here, as a coach in the 2024 season. This first year was pretty good. This year, that the team does not seem like they have quit on Brian Daboll. To me, it still seems like the players are bought in. The other coaches might not be bought in, but at least the players seem to be bought in to what Brian Daboll is trying to do. And I think if that does not change in these last few games of this season, then of course Brian Daboll will be back. If he loses the locker room or there's some type of blow up even more, then you can talk about Brian Daboll not being here in 2024. But right now, in my opinion, I believe Brian Daboll is here in 2024, and I hope that Wink Martindale is also here in 2024. But again, it's going to be an exciting offseason, to say the least. Depending on how you feel, you might be happy, you might be upset. But again, this is something that's going to happen. Well, the coaching decision is going to be a lot faster than what we figured out was going to go on with the draft. But again, we have some time to think about those things. So that's going to be my segue. Let's talk about this draft now. So the New York Giants, even with the bye week, we dropped down to the 7th spot. That's where we're at right now, the 7th spot. And you can kiss the top 2 quarterbacks goodbye. Drake May, Caleb Williams, you could probably kiss those guys goodbye. Now, there's some other guys that are, moving up in the ranks as quarterbacks that should be entering the draft. You have Jaden Daniels, you have Bo Nix, you have Michael Penix, you have J.J. McCarthy. There's some guys out there still that if you really think that they're going to be your guy, you can go ahead and take those guys at 7. Me personally, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, I think that 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10. I do think that 5 to 6 quarterbacks go in the first round, and I think it all depends on if Shedeur Sanders leaves, he declares, then I believe he's a first round pick. And that's just how I see it. I think that he's probably going to have the best career at a lot of these guys in this draft, just with his processing, his poise, and things like that can't be taught. I think that Shedeur Sanders is a really good quarterback prospect, but again, he has not declared yet. So I think the Giants are still in a good spot to address the quarterback position if they're at 7, if they're at 8 or 9, anything like that. As long as you're in the top 10, they should have a chance to address the quarterback position with a good prospect. A lot of people will say that they rather go, with the playmaker first. If it's Marvin Harrison, well, Marvin Harrison is going to be long gone by the time you get to 7. He's going to be long gone. And then you're looking at possibly the best edge, maybe a cornerback. If you're not going with the quarterback, maybe an offensive lineman. If you're not going with the quarterback in the first round. But like a lot of people believe, and even if you are a believer in Daniel Jones, you don't know when he's coming back. This will be the perfect spot, especially with a quarterback-rich draft, quality guys too, not just a hype train. To go ahead and get your quarterback in the first round, and nobody will look at you sideways, because again, Daniel Jones coming off of the neck and coming off of the knee and all this other stuff that's going on. I think it's an easy sell. To me, it's the right thing to do anyway. But for those that are heavily Daniel Jones fans, they should be able to get over it pretty quickly. And now the last scenario I want to talk about is the ability for the New York Giants to actually make a playoff run. I saw the graphic for the first time yesterday. The New York Giants in the hunt for a wild card spot, and my jaw almost dropped to the floor. Like, there was rumors of us, or we heard that the New York Giants mathematically could be able to make it to the wild card. But I didn't see a graphic yet. But seeing that graphic televised on national broadcast TV, it's a little surprising still to see the New York Giants name in the hunt at 4-8, and it's crazy. And then we're coming off of the bye. Monday night we go against the Green Bay Packers, and we just saw what the Green Bay Packers were able to do against the Kansas City Chiefs. Mind you, that was a pass interference, and the refs have been horrible. That pass interference on Scantling not being there is just ridiculous. You don't want to say, look, we should fine refs for bad calls and stuff but something has to happen. There has to be some type of disciplinary actions that can happen when things are just so blatant. Just like they're able to call in from New York and say, there, let's review this play. When it's a game-altering miscall, They should be able to do that same thing, call in and pretty much overstep whatever the play on the call on the field is. And I just think that's something you can do, because we've seen it over a lot of years. But it's just, and every year it seems like it's so blatant, and that it's just so awful. But just thinking about that game, like, that should have absolutely been pass interference. I can go back and think about our game against the Buffalo Bills, where Waller was mauled in the end zone. Should have been a pass interference. That affects the game, gives you one more chance to try to win that game. So we have to figure out something with these refs. But again, the New York Giants possibly in the hunt for a wild card spot. I think that talk lasts about a week. Last week, or actually before this Kansas City game, before Green Bay beat Kansas City yesterday, I was like, you know what? Maybe we could beat the Green Bay Packers. 2 weeks to prepare. Monday Night Football, home game, Tommy DeVito playing the way that he's playing. Fearless, I should say, because he's not caring about making too many mistakes. He's just out there playing free, and that's good for a young quarterback. But after watching that game last night, looking at that Green Bay Packers defense, looking at that offense, looking at the progression of Jordan Love, I sit back and I'm like, whoa. We lose this game, all that wild card talk is done. It's done. But I will say this: I'm entertained. I am entertained with everything that's going on, whether it's on the field or off the field right now. No matter how you feel about Tommy DeVito, he looks pretty good. He's made the New York Giants watchable, and he's actually given people a reason to tune in, along with the defense, of course. But yeah, that's it, man. If I had to put on my magic hat and look into the future, I'm going to say that the New York Giants do not make the playoffs. That's me saying it right now today. Not making the playoffs. There's a lot of tough games on the schedule, and with Philadelphia losing to the 49ers, and shout out to the 49ers. I hate the 49ers too, but shout out to y'all for whooping on the Philadelphia Eagles at the link, and I'm enjoying that. I'm a Giants fan, and I'm enjoying that. Some people say you can't talk about other teams when your team sucks, but no, you can absolutely talk about other teams even though your team sucks. But yeah, because I really don't like the 49ers either, but I just hate the Eagles even more. But with that loss for the Philadelphia Eagles, you can pretty much give up the chance of them resting players the last game of the week. Of the season. They're not going to rest their players. They're still trying to battle for that number 1 seed, because now everything gets a lot closer, because you got a lot of 3-loss teams, and you got a lot of 2-loss teams now, and then you're looking at not a lot of 2-loss teams. You got a lot of 3-loss teams, and Philadelphia's right there, and then you have the big matchup between Philadelphia and Dallas. And we'll see what happens there, because again, it's going to be a battle in the NFC to see who gets that number 1 spot. And there's a lot of teams that are involved in that conversation right now with that Philly loss. But that's going to wrap up the video. Just want to talk a little bit about the bye week, the things that are going on, the rumors and the reports, the draft stuff, and also the possible playoff run. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.